What's good with y'all, man? It's the Culture, and we are back with another video, man. It's been a while, it's been some time, and I just been, trying to get some things together, man. Make sure your mental is sharp. You feel me? Everybody and everything. Make sure everything else is in place. And also, to be honest with y'all, after the season, I just really wasn't feeling making more videos, man. It just wasn't any point really, because free agency was coming up and I wasn't getting my hopes up. That wasn't what I was seeing. Now, if I would have got my hopes up, I would have been making all these free agency videos, but I wasn't about to do that anymore this season. I learned my lesson after the first couple of seasons with Chris Ballard. Since Chris Ballard has been here, we haven't done much in free agency. So I don't know why every year I'm gonna just sit here, oh, we can get him. Most likely we're not. And then, like y'all saw this year, a couple ones we tried to get, they ain't wanna be here. Because at the end of the day, it's indie, small market. It just is what it is. Just have to be real with the situation. Daniil Hunter, he ain't wanna come. He want Houston. Hey, So I wasn't about to get my hopes up, man, you feel me? So it was like, I can't sit and make, fake videos, like something that I know that, I just know isn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Just why? There's just no point. But it's all good because we're here today, and after the day, we got weekly videos. Ladies and gentlemen, we got weekly videos. And I thought, what other way than to start back up with listening to our GM talk about the draft. We got the draft coming up at the end of this upcoming week, and that's where he gets busy. And that is also what I'm not worried about too. That's another thing. I wasn't real deep in the draft, looking at a whole bunch of different prospects or whatever, because honestly, I don't care, really. I just care who's going to get drafted when they come on the Colts. It's a couple guys I would like. Of course, we would all want Marvin Harrison, me personally, watching Florida State fan, Jared Verse. We could definitely use that man. But more than likely, we probably won't get either one. So I'm not about to sit here and worry about it because I don't know all the other guys, and what's the point? But one thing I do know is that Chris Ballard in the draft is him. He's him. We always get some good talent out the draft. Always. We always get good talent out the draft. Always. Now, hey, if y'all think I'm lying, just look back every year. There's a dog or two. There's a dog or two in each of the drafts. It's a dog or two in each of the drafts, yo. But hey, what do I know? I just know what I see, you feel me? I just know what I see. And I appreciate everybody that is tuned in, subscribe to the channel. Didn't unsubscribe because y'all didn't see some videos. I appreciate y'all. We back. Hope y'all hit that like on this video, man. You feel me? We about to check out Chris Ballard pre-draft conference, man. Press conference, man. See what he got to say. Shout out to the Colts, man.
Exciting time of year, not just for, look, it's always great when the players come back. There's always some more juice and energy in the building. It's always great to get them back, and their attitude and excitement to get better. With Rusty retiring, we hired Mike Minnis from the Eagles, who, we had a pretty long search to replace Rusty because Rusty was so good, and we found a guy that I think really can help make a big difference in the team, and he's been outstanding. I know the players have been really receptive to what he's doing. and also exciting in the city. I mean, I want to wish the Pacers all the best of luck. Kevin, Chad, and Rick, they're all great people, and I think they've just done a tremendous job building, that organization and that.
Go back to my comment earlier, though. I just went about, we know that Indy's a small market, but I would say things are getting a lot better sports-wise, I know, from outside looking in, because I don't live in Indy. Look, things is getting better, We got, the Colts, AR, you feel me? Pacers building something with Tyrese Halliburton, They having good seat, making the playoffs and whatnot. And now you got the what's her name? Indiana Fever drafting Caitlin Clark. I mean, hey.
To be a playoff contender, and I wish them all the best.
Going good.
Milwaukee here starting out.
Shout out to Indy.
And of course the Fever getting
the state.
Clark. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch her play in our city, and she's a tremendous player. All right, fire away.
Chris Miller said back at the end of the season, like the rookie quarterback contract gives you some flexibility, avenues to do things differently. Does it do anything for you draft-wise?
I don't know draft-wise particularly. I mean, look, when you got a young quarterback, I've always thought, you got to protect him. All right?
Damn right.
Which I think we did a pretty good job last year, and I think we'll continue to do well. Tony's done a really good job with that group. We got a pretty talented group of
that's the main one right there. Protect him.
Continue to add, playmakers around him. Being able to sign Pitt back, having, Jonathan now fully healthy coming into the offseason. He looks really good. I expect him.
Man, this is going to be an exciting season, man. I pray that everyone stays healthy. I'm going to say that now.
Him to have a really big year.
I mean, I always, pray everyone stays healthy, but y'all understand.
Downs take another step. Have Pierce take another step. Those are going to be, important for us to have success.
I think you mentioned yards after the catch as something to add to the offense at other points this offseason. Is that just, when you guys looked at the offense and everything?
Yeah, no, look, you always want a guy that can catch a hitch and go, or catch a shallow and, be able to make somebody miss. And then I think also, like a lot of the yards after catch, not only, from a make a miss run, but also from scramble plays. That's where a lot of them come from. Guys, all of a sudden the quarterback starts to move around. Guys break free and they're in space now.
Get open.
Up
out of there.
When you got guys that can run, it allows them to free up. I thought you even saw it some with Gardner this year. Times where he would start running around, we'd hit a shot, after the catch just because of his ability to run around. But you're always looking for guys that are dangerous with the ball in their hands.
Chris, how do you view, when you look at players, offense or defense, weighing like being an elite maybe at one thing or being good at multiple different things? Like how much do you weigh that throughout the draft? Like elite talent in one area versus, okay, they can do multiple different things at a high level.
No, that's a good question because, look, there's no perfect player. They all got a hole, every one of them. Somewhere. There's no perfect, ready-made player. They all have strengths and they all have weaknesses. So what you want to do is, okay, this is what he does really well. Let's put him in that role to do that specific thing really well.
That situation.
And I think in the draft, that's one thing you're looking at. And that's one thing we're meeting with our coaches today and tomorrow. And we just had a long discussion about a couple guys. I'm not going to tell you what side of the ball, but, what's the vision for the player? Like, it's easy for scouts and us to have a vision, but the coaches got to have the same vision, and we've got to be able to see of how we're going to end up developing and what role this guy's going to play. And then if he does have some deficiencies, okay, what are the things he does really well, and how are we going to use him to allow him to do those things really well?
Right.
What's the very open-ended question, but what's the biggest pitfall do you think, whether individually or as teams, that you got to avoid in the draft?
That's a good question. That's a deep one. we could probably spend some time on that one. Character is always who they are is important. Okay.
Damn right.
Look, we're dealing with young men here that are young men that are not fully developed into men yet. We're talking about 20, 21, 22-year-old young men that make mistakes, okay? And I
And
can
we
live with some
all
of those
make mistakes even after that.
But to me, the things that when they fail is if they don't love to play the game. I think we've all, and y'all have done this long enough. You've been around players that,
First of all, we better not draft nobody that doesn't love to play the game. If you don't even love to play the game, I don't know why you will. It will. Two fella would get money and everything, but yeah, I don't want you if you don't love to play the game. I don't want you on my team. Cause you gonna mess up all that. You yourself will trickle down to other players. And that's just bad energy we do not want in the building. That goes in the building, it spreads. Sorry ass football team. That's the result. A sorry
maybe
ass
are
football
not
team.
fully mature off the field, but on the field, they love football, so they're going to do everything in their power to get better. So I think and it's the hardest part to figure out.
Need that.
Like character is the hardest. Time and money. How are they going to handle their time because they've got more of it, and how are they going to handle their money, and then the outside influences that are grabbing on them. I think sometimes we forget that these young men have a lot of people that all of a sudden you're playing in the NFL, you're playing professional sports that are coming out of the woodworks to grab at them. So they got to be, and we're asking them to do it at a young age. Now I think we do a really good job. David Thornton is outstanding. David does a tremendous job connecting with not only
Definitely
the
gotta
player,
be
but
on
the
their
family
P's and
who's in their
Q's.
circle. So that, I mean, we could go in a million ways there of what you try to avoid. The hardest thing is getting the character right. That's the hardest thing. And there's a lot of times we'll pass on guys in the draft, and I know people freak out. Why? Well, there's usually something we found out or didn't like that, we ended up passing. It wasn't a good fit for us. It might be a good fit for somebody else, and they might make it work, but for us, it wasn't.
Chris, you talked about not giving Gus enough back in January. You really haven't done anything outside the building on defense.
I know they done probably regretted that though a little bit.
Well, a lot of it is what's available.
You find a great player, they might be just a little messed up, but amazing.
Okay. And circumstance were available. I think getting Dallas Flowers back will help. All right. So I think probably when looking back on it, when I made that statement, the injury part of it played into it. And then we gave them a bunch of rookies. Well, now they're no longer rookies anymore. I mean, Jalen Jones is no longer a rookie.
Facts.
Juju is no longer a rookie. Dallas Flowers, we're hoping to get back healthy. We got back Kenny, back in the mix, which I think everybody in the grand scheme of things.
It's good but frustrating at the same time because we want them dogs out there that's already established. With one or two rookies maybe that just come gradually come in, or just one. But our whole secondary is young, which is a good thing. But then it's like they don't got that experience yet. But that comes with time. But now we didn't got like you said, they're not rookies anymore. So this they second year, and I'm like, Brent's played good, dealing with his injuries and whatnot, and Jalen definitely played good. He played good too. So those are two guys right there that I know won't. They wouldn't be a reason why we lose. Put it that way. Like they're good. They wouldn't. We can. They're not like We've had so many sorry quarters, but they're not a Greg Toller. Y'all know him. You don't know him.
One of the top nickels in the league. It's
actually good that you don't.
not like these guys don't have enough talent.
Him in the Indy uniform.
We always want to add competition.
You don't want that.
But I think what we did is we gave them a bunch of young players, with not a lot of vet presence back there, other than Kenny and probably Julian.
Are you worried you're too young?
No, not anymore. I think they've grown up, and I think it's been fun to watch them. I mean, look, once you play 16, 17 games in this league, you've grown up to the fact where you're no longer a rookie. So I think we'll see better play out of them. And I didn't think it was, I mean, it's kind of like the ass whipping y'all gave the O-line 2 years ago, and y'all just, O-line sucks and can't play. I kept going, man, the second half of the season, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, there were some individual moments,
Yeah.
of course, but I thought they got better as they played.
Nah, people was definitely. Oh, but they were playing shitty though. They were playing shitty. With Matt Ryan, the O-line was definitely playing shitty. Why? Just probably because of the situation, honestly. Because last season came back to life. Which it shouldn't even have been that because it's all most of the same guys. But obviously they ain't. Back to the energy. The energy must ain't been right that season with Matt Ryan and everything going on. Well, yeah, it was a lot going on that season. I think that's the problem. They won't block and worth a damn for nobody. They ain't get. It ain't look like ain't nobody give a damn about football.
I thought they got better as they played, and I think they'll continue to get better.
That was rough. That was a rough season to watch.
This offseason had you spending a lot of your money on keeping guys back, right? Just because of that timing, was it always destined that this draft was going to be maybe more important than others in terms of getting help right now because you can't go out and hire new help right now?
Well, I think I think anytime you draft, I mean, look, the majority of your best players on your team, you hope they come from the draft, okay? When you're building through free agency, I think y'all know my philosophy on this, and I think you can look through the league. When you build through, you can't get all your best players through free agency. Too expensive, and, it doesn't last over time.
Yeah, 'cause they're older.
I think the draft's always important to get. I think now in today's football, these guys got to come in and play. I mean, they do. They got to come in and play. And I think a lot of that, I think a lot of them are more ready to play probably than they were in the past for whatever reason. Like the one thing I'm blown away with talking to some of these really young guys is their football intelligence and knowledge of the game. Like, man, you talk to a kid from, I'm just grabbing a school, but Georgia on defense. I mean, Kirby and that group, I mean, they know defensive football. They know it as well as anybody. I mean, they have been schooled at a very high level that translates to this level. So I think to answer your question, Greg, I think every draft's important to get guys you got to get 2 or 3 guys. You'd like all of them to
Get
hit,
them dogs.
help you right away. I know that's not real, but you need to get those guys to be able to play and make an impact.
How much of your thinking along the same lines? You're not drafting for just today. These guys, you need them to produce primarily 3-4 years from now to backfill your team. How much of the philosophy is about today versus tomorrow? And I know coaches got to coach today, so their philosophy is different, but you got to think long term.
It's always that. I think that's the general coaching, scouting, tug and pull that you get where you'll have, we're looking at, okay, 2 years from now, this guy's up. We'll draft this guy to replace him, and then and then on the coaching end, like, hey, screw that, man. I need today. No, it's definitely a balance. It's a balance.
Gotta be.
A lot of your re-signs now match up timeline-wise, like 2026, right in that area. Was that specific, anything to do with Anthony's contract, or was that
a little bit, and a little bit just how it kind of worked out. And these guys they're all kind of in their primes. And so it's a little different when you're signing a 24-year-old, like when we signed Kenny the last time. I think Kenny was 22, 23, really young. All right, so we did a little longer deal. The shorter deal is more, their age. They're right in their prime. I think it's and I think you're seeing it across the league. It's a little bit of a league trend. You're not seeing quite as long of deals as you did in the past. You're not seeing those 6-year contracts much we used to.
Where do you see the prime kind of?
That's what they need, though. They need that long term, that longevity.
That's a little.
NFL being trying to cut the players short. That's what it is.
Social media and that brainiac of a world will criticize a guy for that, but this is the elite of the elite, and it is hard to have a long career. It is. It's just hard. it's a hard game. It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
And when you need a little luck, you got to have some freak physical traits. There's some guys that are just freak physical. Like I'll never forget in Chicago when we signed Julius Peppers, and everybody criticized us at 30, and at 38, he still looked good. You know, and I think Buck's got a little of that in him. Like where Buck's I mean, you stood next to him. I mean, God gifted him a little bit different.
Hey, nah,
So
Buck
Buck's
is
might be able to
huge.
play as long as
No diddy. When my first game, last season, went to the game, bro, when he was warming, bro, he's the biggest man out there. Well, he's definitely the biggest man we got out there. D-Buck is massive, okay?
physically wants to play. So I think it's a different.
You've
case of
never
luck.
seen
They have
him
physically
in person?
body. You get a little luck with the injuries. I mean, I
That's
think
a
every
big man.
case is a little bit different.
Chris, a year ago at this time, you weren't positive yet who your quarterback would be. Now, obviously, that you know who it, you understand that player. Does that change anything about the type of players you get around him on offense, or maybe the urgency to get certain positions?
I don't know if it's urgency to get certain positions as much. It is a good feeling knowing that we like him, we like what we saw, and where we're.
It will be interesting to see who we get, though.
Like I said, one, protect.
Protect.
And
Damn
protect.
right.
It's one of the most, like, you just look through the league, you just look through the playoff teams. I mean, they all can block and protect. So I think that's critical. I think that's one. I remember Andrew used to tell me all the time, Chris, just make sure let's get me protected. I'll get the ball to get me guys that'll catch it and get to the right spot, and I'll make the rest work. Most of the really good ones, that's how they kind of roll. Of course, they want,
Damn, man.
the superstar.
Only if luck would have stayed.
Protection, to me, is always first and foremost.
You have a bunch of cap space with Buck's extension. How do you see the cap? Why did you structure it that way?
Just to make Twitter go nuts. Think I'm kidding? I'm not. Just want to see the reaction.
He's probably serious.
I think we on Twitter.
That's my answer. I mean, yeah.
You want flexibility?
Yeah, it gives us flexibility. Yes. Yes. Yes, it gives us flexibility. No, I know. It just gives us flexibility. Yes.
It's a smart move, though,
Having
for
a year
real.
with Shane now and kind of seeing that proof of concept of what he wants out of his players, how does that impact the draft evaluation process with him?
Oh, it's really good because it makes it. I mean, like when you go in there and you start looking at players together, and then when he starts looking at the board and okay, this is how I use this guy, this is how he fits. Man, from a GM perspective, that's a beautiful thing now, knowing that he's got a vision quickly for the player, and it's not a vision of negativity with many guys where he sees the strengths really quickly and
That's all you need.
figure out a role for how this guy can play for you. And that's fun. That makes it fun.
How many, if you want to share first round grades, do you have?
Oh God, I just left the freaking room too. Why don't y'all come on in? I'll let y'all look at it. I want to say we had 19 to 21, right in that area.
You mentioned whiteout back at the combine. Anything else stand out to you depth-wise after you?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few positions that's got some real depth. Like the O-line in this draft is really it's excellent. There's depth throughout. I mean,
Well, we're definitely going to get old linemen. Those comments right there, we're definitely going to get an old lineman. And I ain't mad at it. I will not be mad at it at all. Honestly, well, I actually will be mad if we pick all linemen first in the first round. But anything past the first round, second on, I'm cool with it.
I truly
I'm
believe
cool with
they
it.
did a really
What y'all
good
think?
job
Let me know.
Mid rounds and even some later,
Up,
because of the depth of the group.
mid to late. Let's get it.
It is an excellent. Those two position groups.
Yeah, we get old linemen for
really
sure
good.
though.
Was there anything that stuck out to you about your boys?
Which we could definitely get stronger.
Bigger than normal because of the players that have been around longer, or even smaller?
I'll say this. I do think you're going to see a lot of offensive players taken early, in the first round. And I'm not saying it's a weak defensive draft, but it is a really strong offensive draft, especially at the top of it.
Chris, has your draft philosophy or your evaluation philosophy changed or evolved in the last 7-8 years?
Yeah, I think I'm growing. I mean, yeah, in a lot of ways. I mean, longer you do this, I mean, even scouting or longer you do it, you hope you can grow and figure out, who are the ones that, I mean, you're always looking for unique talent, unique traits in a player. But then also on the flip side of that, making sure the character's always been very important with us, without question. But making sure that we're drafting not only the unique traits, but also some substance with it, with the tape. Now, we've always been pretty consistent with that, but, I mean, there's times you'll take a chance. And then I know where you're getting at, because we're going to trade back, and I can already see the article.
I mean, well, to that point, you have always stressed the value of picks and have, looked for ways to get more picks.
As many as you
Is
can.
your roster at a different place? Where, I don't know how many roster spots there are.
Yeah, that's a good point. History. I mean, I just go off history. And, the more picks you have, the better chance you have to hit. Now, of course,
It's probably going to be situation going to be whoever, if they going to come together and that guy isn't there, that first round, that joint is getting traded away for some more picks. For sure. Kind of like the mentality, we can't get that top guy. Okay, we're going to get these two other guys we like. You know what I'm saying? To make up for that guy that we couldn't get.
Not going to hit on all of them, but it gives you more of a chance to hit.
I think.
Look, we've moved up.
I think that's somewhat of the mindset.
Like when we see one that's in striking distance that we think we can go get, we'll do it. But it's got to work out. Like always, and then you got to have two that want to make. You got to have somebody that wants to make the trade.
That too. Yep.
It's always most expensive to do that in the first round, obviously. Could you see yourself actually considering a move up in the first?
Well, I just said probably move back.
Exactly. They ain't listening.
I don't know. I think it would depend.
He wouldn't move up.
They would have to get somebody within striking distance that we felt really was unique and a difference maker for us. Yeah.
Is Drew Ogletree back with you guys?
Yes, he is. He's back. Correct.
We haven't talked yet about Charlie Partridge. He's got a long history of developing some big name guys. What can you tell us about him?
Excited about Charlie. Been watching it. He was at Wisconsin years ago. That's where I didn't get to know him well, but I know Coach Alvarez spoke just glowingly about him as a teacher and as a coach. And, actually a few years ago, we actually reached out to him, and he's very principle-centered man. Like he wasn't leaving Pittsburgh. He had given their commitment, which in today's world is very unique. And I admire. But you just look at his history of developing players and his ability to make them better. I mean, and I'm not talking about like average ones either. I'm talking about unique, from J.J. Watt to kids that Hendrickson that's playing in Cincinnati. I mean, this guy's coached some really good players, and they all tell you he's one of the best ones they've had. So we're excited to get him. He's been great to work with and fun to work
definitely
with.
glad he in the building.
Great eye for it. So it'll be fun to get him. I know it's the first week with the guys.
He probably know him a little something.
Like high school, college. I mean, there's good coaches at every level.
Facts.
It doesn't matter where level you're at. You can do it at any level. There's high school coaches, I promise you, that will come into our league and be perfectly damn good football coaches, man.
Just one quick follow-up on Ogletree, without getting into detail. I mean,
That's a fact.
Are you
It's
comfortable?
more about who you know, opportunity,
Yes, absolutely.
and what you know too. All right, okay, Chris. Well, look, Chris. Me personally, I'm confident in you, and the whole scout group and everybody. I'm confident in all y'all that we gonna have a good draft. I think I can guarantee that to the culture, all Colts fans around, y'all, we gonna have a good draft. Trust me. No need to panic about the draft. If it's one thing you can count on as of late, is a pretty good draft. I think that will continue to happen going forward with Chris in the building. Chris Ballard, you know, head honcho Chris. All right? But y'all let me know what y'all think, though, in the comment section, man. And another thing, I was like, let me see, what jersey am I going to put on for this video, right? I'm looking, man. Well, I got my TY jersey. I'm looking. All my jerseys I got, they either retired, they don't play for us anymore. Hey, hold on, man. I gotta get an AR jersey. I gotta get one. I don't know if I want the white one, though, man. I wish we had, like, some hard black jerseys, honestly. Some hard black jerseys. Like that alternate, that new one, that won't really it. But if we had some black jerseys, oh my goodness, that would be fire. Y'all let me know that in the comment section too. What y'all think, man? Who would y'all like in the draft? Let me know. Who y'all don't like in the draft? What do y'all like Chris Ballard in the draft, or y'all don't like him in the draft? And let me know if y'all think we should get some black unis, man. Hit that like button though if you enjoyed this video, and also to support the channel and try and get this video out to all the other Colts fans, you feel me? Sub if you're new.